Hello there, Eagles fans. Welcome back to Philly Eagles Therapy. I'm Basil,
And I'm Baz.
and we are recording Thursday, September 25th, 2025. First episode being recorded in my parents' new house. We're down in the basement in different rooms, still trying to figure out our setting and everything like that. We think we might have a podcast room. We're not too sure, but we'll be trying things out over the next few weeks and see what settles best for us.
Yeah, so the days of the cool background and all the stuff is not going to be there for a little bit. But
It's
yeah, just
different for
hang
a
in
bit.
there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got threw a jersey up just to see it, just so I had something going for us. But all right, Dad, we're gonna be talking, of course, about the Eagles Bucks game coming up this Sunday, being played at 11 o'clock for us, 11 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. for us, 1 o'clock Eastern time back over there. Big game, scary game. This feels like it's kind of a annual tradition to go down to Tampa Bay and get beaten up pretty bad.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been going on for quite some time, and it has. We played six out of the last 8 seasons. We lost five of them, I believe, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's not been fun.
Yeah. This is the week that we exercise some demons. This is
Yep,
the week that we expand on the Super Bowl win last year, I guess you could say, because this would like go full circle. They beat us last year. We win the Super Bowl. We beat them this year. That kind of we already got KC. We already got the Cowboys. We already got the
yeah,
Rams. Let's just keep this momentum going.
definitely. 100% agree with you there. Yes. Let's get into it. As always, give a shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles fan club of Colorado Springs. I hope you guys are all enjoying your time at Rhino Sports and Spirits on Barnes and Towers here in the Springs. We will not be able to go again this Sunday, still on daughter duty. We'll see. I don't know what game we're going to be able to go to next, but we'll find out for soon enough.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm still unpacking, so we got to get this place set up.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, first game in the new house. It's going to be fun.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right, let's talk about some big news. So obviously, some injuries to report, Dad. Not just for the game, but really for quite some time here. Nolan Smith and Jacorian Bennett going on to injured reserve. Quite a surprise. No one was really expecting this. It just kind of came out of nowhere. Uh, big hit to that defensive line rotation. Big hit to the defense. That's one of our leading edge rushers and one of the guys who's in the running for the cornerback spot.
Yeah, it's funny because last second half last week, it kind of helped. It felt like we were getting it together somewhat. We kind of shut them down again, held them to only 7 points off
Yeah,
a short field that after that big sack. But it just seems like we can't get any consistency going. We can't get any camaraderie going. So hopefully this is the week that even with those two guys out, they continue to get better. They've been doing it all every single game so far this year. So
yeah.
keep it
I
up.
should I should mention Darius Cooper, also a wide receiver, onto the injured reserve as well.
Yeah.
So expect to miss at least 4 games for each of those guys. All of them, it seemed like all of them were placed on non-surgery injury reserve. Like there was no one's expected to miss the season. No one's
Right.
out for like the
Right.
season. It looks like it's mostly going to be 4 or 5 games for someone, depending on each of their injuries. But 4 games is a minimum, I believe, still with IR, right?
Yes. Yes. And it's a
Yeah,
shame because Nolan Smith, he still hasn't been back fully from last year, but
yeah.
we're kind of hoping we could get some sacks. We haven't really done that. We've definitely had the pressures there, but we just haven't been getting the numbers that we want. And Jacorian Bennett, we were kind of working him into the team, and now another 4 week
I know,
setback. Who knows? It's going to set us back. So it's
I
going to
know.
be tough.
I mean, this the big thing about this. We kind of talked about it. My thoughts on Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt not playing in the preseason, and now Jalix Hunt is your lead edge rusher going into the season. Obviously, we've signed Za'Darius Smith, who we'll talk about, and Josh Uche's played well. But you're just
Yes.
like, man, this is why that preseason. I thought Nolan Smith had to play. I mean, good thing he probably didn't because the injury could have been worse. But I just thought Jalix Hunt had to play as well, and it's just making me upset still to
Yeah,
this
and I,
day.
and
I'm
I
like,
think you're correct now. I mean, at the time, like, well, he won a starting position and things like that. But I mean,
yeah,
he needed some more time. He was just a rookie last year, so some more time to work on some things. Maybe, yeah. So that I definitely agree with you there, and I think that's maybe a problem that we have this year.
yeah. Let's get into the details of it all. Obviously, some injuries on both sides of the line. Zach Bond. I won't go through all of it. It gets a little bit boring if you keep on talking about it. No big names that are like not participating. Most of them were like either for rest or limited participants. Zach Bond, Todd Campbell, Dory Jackson, Lane Johnson, Tanner McKee, Will Shipley. Will Shipley, a full participant. Expect to see him coming back into the lineup. It looks like maybe in that running back rotation.
He might be
Um,
returning kicks, maybe. I don't know, maybe.
See, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, obviously, we'll talk about we got a new kick returner, new returner, really, punt
Right.
returner and kick returner from the Giants, Xavier Gibson, who's been a big name in the return game the past few years. On the other side of the ball, across the way, big names for them: Levante David, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, both expected to not participate. Neither of them are listed as fully out yet. But
Right.
Mike Evans it's been said that he'll miss up to 3 to 4
Yeah.
weeks.
No, he's got
Um,
the hamstring. He's got the tender hamstring. He's had it for a couple of years now, but 32 years old. So I mean,
wow.
if he doesn't play, it's a big bonus for us. I hear
Yeah.
Tristan Wirfs might not play, hasn't played this
Yeah.
year. So I mean, but then again, if you haven't played yet this year, it's not easy to just get in there and play.
Yeah.
So,
And
but
Chris
if
Godwin,
Godwin and him and Evans are out, that's good
different.
for us. Yeah.
Chris Godwin, he was a full participant Wednesday, but did not participate at all on Thursday, which is kind of a
Yeah.
surprise to see full to not. We'll,
Right.
of course, learn more tomorrow, Friday, more about it and everything. Of course, we're recording this on Thursday. Other big names, like I said, Baker Mayfield was limited, but it's just a,
Yeah. Rest
formality.
or something.
And then Tristan Wirfs, he was limited Wednesday and full on Thursday. So tomorrow is going to be a big day. We might even do a podcast tomorrow to see if anything changes on here and do a quick little
Right.
talk about some of that stuff. But yeah, a lot of this has to do with some of the big matchups in this game.
Yeah, especially in the past. I mean, Mike Evans has always really
Great
hurt us
player.
bad. And
Yeah,
Baker's played well the last few times we've played him, and he's
he's
found
just
a new
great.
home, that's for sure, down in
Yeah,
Tampa.
I
He
mean,
definitely.
making a statement. People might argue he's already in the top 10. I would say he is.
Oh,
He's definitely making his claim for the top 10 a lot clearer. That's for
well, it's
sure.
funny because the last 2 weeks, game-winning drives, but
Yes.
probably shouldn't have happened
True.
because he wasn't
Yeah.
playing so well early on in those games. So,
Yeah.
but it's
Right.
going to be a barn burner down there. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. It's going to be really rough. So I know the team we've heard is going down a day earlier. There's been some comments made. Well, does it really matter if they get there a day early? Well, to me, I think just the flight itself a day earlier
I
helps
agree.
you. That's a 3 hour flight. And you're
Yeah.
going from Philly's humid anyway, but it's not
Yeah.
been warm this week. But
Yeah.
it's
And
going to be what 91, so it's going to be warm and humid. So
yeah. And it's difficult because what you said is true about the Tampa Bay. They 2 game winning drives the last 2 weeks, but their wins came against a team that's 1-2 now. Week one, and that's week one. You give a lot of grace for especially division games. It's
sure,
difficult, but then since then they beat 2-0-3 teams,
right,
and it's kind of difficult to judge now. This early in the season, no, you don't know who anyone is, and you
right,
play who you play, and you have to respect that. But it is an interesting topic to talk about. They beat a 1-2 team and 2-0-3 teams, but
well,
you look at us. We beat a
yeah,
1-2 team. We beat a 1-2 team, and we beat a 3-0 team or a 2-0
right,
team at the time. So a
right.
2-1 team, but it's very interesting. It's a very
Well,
interesting way to
like
look at
you
the
always
schedule.
say, a division game too. You got to see
Oh
if they're
yeah,
playing out of division or out of their conference. That's a big difference than like we did with the Chiefs. But we did play a division or an in-conference game and a division game, which is also a conference game. So I mean, it's just that kind of thing. But it's funny because the Tampa Bay almost lost to the Jets that blocked the field goal and ran it back for a touchdown. Right? Wasn't that last
yes,
week? Right.
yeah. Blocked a
So
field goal. Blocked a field
field
goal.
goal.
Jets. Yeah,
Yeah.
which so do we.
They, yeah.
Um, yeah.
We
So
left no time in the clock though. They left about a
for
minute and
sure.
30 seconds on the clock. So
Yeah, too much.
too much.
Funny thing to mention, this I think might give us an edge before we get into the full matchups and everything. We've beaten 3 teams this year, and 3 teams that obviously one is a division game. It was the Cowboys who play them 2 times every single year,
Right.
and the other teams are teams that it feels like are obviously they're not in the division, but it feels like, oh, this is a team we know. Obviously, we talked about the Chiefs. We played them 5 years in a row,
Yeah.
including the Super Bowls. The Rams we played twice last year. We played them in 20. We played them in 22. We
I
played them. We
believe
played
we
them in
did.
23.
Yeah.
So we played them.
Yeah.
We played them 4 times in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
You're playing these teams a lot, and then Dallas, like I said. So this is another one of
Well,
those teams. You're
I think
playing Tampa Bay.
McVay's 0-4 versus Sirianni, or is
Correct,
it
correct.
0 5?
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
you're right. So
yeah.
that's 4 times in the last 3 years. Like I say, yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
and then you throw in Tampa Bay as a team that you play. almost once every year, six
Oh
times in the
yeah,
last 8 years.
yeah.
So the familiarity that, the preparation of maybe this gives us an edge. We play these teams a lot. We haven't played a team that we don't play much in the last few weeks.
And it's funny because the teams you're talking about, they haven't had any major changes to their team either, like a new quarterback or a new wide
Yeah.
receiver. It's kind of the same guys. We've been the
Yeah.
same team. Chiefs have been the same team. They were a little shorthanded, of course. The Cowboys, same team, same
Yeah.
guys, maybe a
They only
change
got
here
better
and
with
there, but
Javonte Williams, but I mean Micah Parsons,
exactly.
the big one, but
Right. Well, then
yeah,
you got Devontae Adams last week. That was a little
yeah, true.
different. We didn't
Yeah,
face
true.
Cooper Kupp, but Puka, fantastic player.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So the familiarity is good and bad because we know the coach down there in Tampa. We know what he's going to
Yeah.
do.
And
Hopefully,
let's
we can set it up.
let's take that to run into this. So all-time record with the Bucs. Bucs lead 13-11 is what I saw. I don't know
Okay.
if you saw any playoff matchups. It's just we had
Yeah,
one in
we've only
21. We had one in 23. Is any
yeah.
more
Then we
before
had
that?
one in like
Correct.
79.
Oh, okay.
So
And that would have been 03, right? 02?
right. Oh yeah. Um,
02.
it
The
depends
last.
what time of the when the calendar game was, of December or January.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, they
The
were
last.
brutal. That was tough,
Yeah.
man. They were tough
Well,
ones.
they were the last game of the vet,
Link
the
and
first
Vet,
game of the
yeah,
link. First game of the
yes.
link, right? Yeah.
Well, we did the last game at the Vet, and the next season we played in the first game at the Link.
Terrible. Hate these guys.
Gooseheads, yeah, we lost to both of those. So,
Yeah. All right. Well,
so
let's
there's
get
a
into.
revenge. There's definitely a revenge
Oh,
factor here.
definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. All right, let's get into some matchups here. On the offensive side, you already mentioned it. The coach. I'm throwing this down as a major matchup. Hurts versus Todd Bowles.
yeah,
Um, Todd Bowles knows how to beat him. This is a
yeah.
coach who's just maybe I should throw in Sirianni versus Todd Bowles because coach versus coach. Bowles just has the ability. I don't know. He has the cards. He has the
Well,
cards to beat
and
him for
he
some
has
reason.
their number, as we say.
Yeah.
He's got our
I didn't
number.
want to. I didn't want to say that. It's too boring.
I know.
He
Too
has the cards to
cliche.
beat him, though. He knows how to beat him, and it's
Yeah,
it's never pretty. I mean,
no.
even when we won, we talk about in 23, we beat him week 2, I believe, and
Good
Hurts in that
game.
game. Hurts in that game through 2 picks,
Yeah,
and it's like even in that game that we won like 23-9, it was a weird score.
yeah.
You're like, how did we not? How did we not? Why was this game so bad?
Well, we got a safety in that game, but then we played him again that same year in the playoffs, right? And they just
Yep.
whacked us. Yeah, it was tough.
That wasn't even funny.
Yeah.
That was one of the
Yeah.
worst. It was
Yeah.
the worst ending to a season ever.
Yeah. We were
So we
talking
beat him.
ourselves into trying to win that game, but it wasn't,
No,
we knew
we
it wasn't
came on
going to
this
happen.
podcast and we were like, well, it wasn't fun, but we're gonna lose next
Yeah.
week. That was really the
Yeah.
first time in my life I went to a playoff game going, we have literally no shot.
No shot.
I mean, there's been times in the past you go in the playoffs and okay, we're the underdog, but
Right.
we got some heat, we got some
Yeah.
that game was like,
Get
yeah,
an early
no,
pick and get an early
yeah,
sack and
no.
knock the quarterback out.
That
No,
game was no.
it
Yeah.
was a stomping. It was a stomping.
Next matchup I have is the interior offensive line versus Vita Vea. So it does feel like our offensive line in the middle has struggled a lot this season so far. Cam Jurgens has had some penalties. Landon Dickerson obviously going through some injuries. And then I don't think Steen has been bad. I don't think he's been the best player in the world, of course, but I
No,
don't think he's been bad. But the running game hasn't gotten started, and Vita
not at
Vea
all.
is a
No.
run clogger.
Yeah. So I mean, I still think, we're coming off. This is the fourth game, 3 games, 3 preseason games. You kind of go, okay, that's why you play in the preseason to get ready for the season. So we didn't have any of that seasoning. So hopefully they start pulling together. And if they don't this week, offensive line doesn't pull together, then there might be some questions to ask. But I mean, last week I thought we were going to run it a little bit better than we did. Not at all. It was bad. So,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah. I mean,
hopefully, once we open the passing game, we never
yes.
went back to the run because we were too far behind.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we come out maybe passing and sets up the run.
Yep. I
But
agree.
we'll see. We'll see.
I agree. Next one I have, I just wrote down a player really, Levante David. Levante David's been one of the best linebackers in the league the past few years, playing for the Bucs over there downstairs in Tampa Bay. And this is a player that you have to be careful of with everything. I mean, he can blitz, he can run stop, he can do everything. He's 35 years old, but he's just always been a really good player.
Right. Well, maybe it's time Father Time checks in on him. Hopefully, maybe.
Maybe we'll see. Last year had 5.5 sacks. I mean, he's just always a good player.
Yeah,
39 sacks in his career, but for a linebacker, a middle linebacker, he's just incredible. They got Hassan Reddick over there in Tampa Bay.
that's true. A little revenge factor for him, maybe. Maybe not. He
Definitely.
kind of blew it up.
Yeah, the revenge factor for him was gone when
Yeah,
he left the Jets. I mean, that was
yeah,
just
yeah,
terrible. When he
yeah,
got to the Jets, it was
yeah,
awful. Just a
yeah. It was
bummer.
bad. Yeah.
Big name that they're going to be missing, obviously, Kalijah Cansey on the IR, on the injured reserve for them. Big defensive end for them. Gets some sacks, gets a lot of pressure. Not going to be in there for them this week. That's a big deal.
Okay. Okay. Let's run to his side then, maybe.
I agree.
I mean, because
Let's talk.
it's if you see him, it seems like we've been just running up the gut a lot, and it's just not working out. And I don't know if it's going to be we need to start trying to have the edge a little bit more, maybe some RPOs. It seemed to open up a little bit late in the game last week.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk defense. Emeka Egbuka has been a fantastic player. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Emeka Egbuka, I'm not too sure. He's
Right.
been a great player. Guy out of Ohio State. Season ends right now. He's the offensive rookie of the year. 3 touchdowns in 3 games this year. I think 180 yards total. He's
Wow.
been fantastic, and he's been a big deal for them since they were missing Godwin. And I think
Right.
this for me is going to be Aguga versus Quinyon Mitchell. I think this is a game where you have Quinyon travel with him,
Yeah. Well,
especially
he
if Chris
traveled
Godwin's
last
not
week.
playing,
Right.
and we don't expect Chris Godwin to be playing, and Mike Evans obviously not playing. I think
Right.
Quinyon's got to travel with him.
And I think it worked out last week with Devontae Adams. I mean, when he was
Yeah,
on him, it was like 2 catches for whatever, 5 targets. And then, of course, with the one time he had the touchdown, he was not being covered by
that was
Quinyon.
Reed.
So,
Yeah,
I think maybe that's what we need to start doing. Same with week one when Quinyon was not locked on CD. He was not only playing his one side, and it didn't really look good for us there for a while.
no,
So maybe it is time that he becomes that lockdown one guy, kind of do what Slay used to do, lockdown
yeah,
corner, play that, travel with him wherever he goes.
I agree. Next matchup, I got the running backs. They got a good running back duo over there, Bucky Irving and Rashid White, versus our linebackers, versus Zach Bond, Jihad Campbell. Uh, Good players. Not barn burners. I know you like to use that term, but they've been pretty good so far this year. Bucky Irving, 56 attempts. Rashid White, sorry. Rashid White's not getting as many carries. I don't know if he's struggling with an injury really too much right now, but he has not been as big of a push for them. But he's still a pretty good goal line back, 17 carries, 91 yards. He's averaging 5.4 yards a carry with a touchdown. And you got Baker, who can run as well.
Yeah.
12 carries on the year, 116 yards, 9.7 per carry. He torched the Jets with his feet,
Yeah.
with his legs last week.
Yeah. And I
And
think,
you worry about that for us a little bit because Patrick Mahomes torched us a little bit with his legs. Matt Stafford can't run at all, so
no,
that's an outlier.
but he
But
still got away from the sacks. He didn't get sacked. I mean, a couple
yeah,
times. So, I mean, this may be the week we need to get to Baker, and I
gotta
don't know, maybe just to me, it's you got to change it up. You got to. I noticed that we do have a lot of linemen shifting at the last second, kind of. I like that a lot, where they kind of move each other around. Him and Davis and Carter. Carter, I think he's back now. He's had a few games to get himself get his legs underneath him, and Davis has been playing phenomenally. So, I mean, we're going to need that interior push to keep them inside, not let them run the ball like they did last week. Last week we kind of got gashed there for a while.
Yep.
Our
And then the
run
next
D
one,
was not great.
yeah. And then the last matchup I have for the defense is going to be Tristan Wirfs. So this is a big deal because obviously he might not be playing. This might be his first game back. Whether he's playing or not, you hope if he comes back from injury, he's a little bit green in the gills, and not super ready to get going.
Of
And
course.
if he's not playing, I mean, it's a big deal. This is a 3-time All Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler. He's only 26 years old. This
Yeah,
is one of the best left tackles in the league.
he
And
is.
you really have to, especially with Nolan Smith out. I mean, I'll jump ahead real quick and say my player to watch is Za'Darius Smith. I mean, he is now the lead. He's now number one. He's the number one guy. And I
Right.
mean, people could say the moment they brought him in, he was the number one guy, but that's not what the Eagles wanted. They wanted Nolan Smith. They wanted Jalen Hunt. They wanted
Right.
that to be enough. It hasn't been. Uche's been great. Za'Darius Smith has been really good in his couple of games with us. And I think this is the game where it's like, well, with Nolan Smith on IR, Za'Darius Smith's the number one guy now. He has to be. He's the number one
And
guy.
now with you mentioning Josh Uche, that's my player that I'm going to keep my eyes on this
Okay,
week. I think he's a guy who, if he's going to be the guy, this is the week to be the guy. And then maybe we start gelling that way. Jake Hunt's still out there, but Uche's been graded high every week. He just doesn't have any of the statistics that you want, like the 3 or 4 sacks already on the season. So it'd be nice for him to get in there and hopefully get the Baker and then make him move but keep him in the back there. Don't let him get run on us.
for sure. Yeah. Next one to note, I got Xavier the special teams going into special teams. Got Xavier Gibson, big time kick returner for us, and punt returns as well. The last 2 years, he's got 58 punt returns and 31 kick returns. So you would expect him to be the guy. Average of 9.5 per punt return, 1 touchdown, and then averages 24.1 per kick return with a 34 for a long. I said the Giants did. I meant to say he's on the Jets. He was on the Jets, but we picked
Right.
him up from the Giants. But he was big for the Jets, is what I meant to
Yeah.
say.
Okay. Well, we just need somebody that can field kickoffs because last week was a joke. I think they said 4 or 5 we fumbled. I counted all 5. I didn't see
Yeah,
one clean return in the whole game. And it was just, we were starting at the 10 and the 19, and you just can't do that. I mean, obviously they won the game, but you can't do that because that's just it makes it that much harder to
awful.
do what you got to do and drive the ball. And especially in a game like this, we need to get it to 30 and then have a nice drive or two early on in the game to get the confidence back.
Yeah. You want to know something a little funny, a little fun fact? Xavier Gibson had his first touchdown in the NFL the day that we recorded our first episode of this podcast. So
Nice.
it was in 2023. It was the first game of the season. We
Nice.
recorded for the Eagles game, and it was the Bills and the Jets. They played that Thursday night, and we recorded and we missed the first. Remember that was the game Rodgers got hurt, and we missed the first like 10 minutes of the game
Yes,
because we were
yes,
recording.
yes,
And then
yes.
I ended up going home and we watched, and he had a punt return for a touchdown to win that game in overtime
Wow,
that night, the
nice.
night of our first episode. If
That's
you remember,
crazy. Yeah.
fun little thing. I
Awesome. That's
remembered
awesome.
as I was thinking of the name, I'm like, oh, that's the guy that did that. I double checked, and I'm like, yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy who had the
Nice.
same night of the first episode, the
Excellent.
inaugural episode.
Nice.
We said players to watch. I got Za'Darius Smith. You got Uche. So we're going heavy on the defensive end.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
this is a game that I wish I could, if you choose 2 players, I got to say Jalen Hunt. I mean, this is it. It's really now or never. We're in week 4, and
Yeah.
I really haven't seen anything. I think I've seen him make a couple tackles in the run game. Have you seen any pressures? I mean, I really, you got to watch the games and watch the
Yeah.
highlights, but I haven't seen really much of anything, and
Now
it's disappointing.
I've heard some of the other podcasters that talk about the Eagles. They have mentioned his name and they said he was pretty close to a few. Personally, I just a few times maybe saw the number, but nothing like I've seen Za'Darius Smith and some of the other guys who were right there, like Carter last week. He was a couple times he was that close to getting a sack. Of course,
Yeah,
Davis had one taken away on a penalty or something, and
yeah,
that was a beautiful sack. So it's something that they need to get better at, or we like Vent was saying, he's saying we got to get sacks. We need sacks.
you
We've
have
only
to.
had a few sacks. We need to have 10 or 12 by now, 15. We're probably sitting at 6 or
That's a
I don't
lot.
even know. I don't even know.
I mean, we didn't have any against Dak in Dallas. We had
Right?
2 against Mahomes, and we
Right.
only had 1 last week. So
I
three
think so.
sacks,
Yeah, that's not going to make it.
three sacks in 3 games. I'll give him the Chiefs game. They had 10 quarterback hits, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
pretty good. And I'm not. He doesn't even always have to be sacks, but
right.
if you can get 10 quarterback hits, but you only get 2 sacks, that's still a great
And
game.
they hit
But
Stafford a lot last week.
yeah,
They hit him a lot.
I'd have to check the game book of exactly
Yeah,
what that turned
but he
into.
he got some hits. I
He
know
did.
Carter destroyed him on one play right after, he just barely got the ball away on that one catch Nakua made. I
No,
mean,
I
he
get
was
you.
right there, and you're like, oh, right there.
Let
And
me
there was a
see it real
couple of
quick.
those last week. So, I mean, they're getting there. They're just not getting home. They're not getting in the stat book.
Yeah. I'm pulling up the game book real quick just to see. It always breaks down exactly what we had. Team statistics. I know this doesn't matter, but now I have to know.
I would say they probably had at least 5 or 6 Because they definitely moved Stafford around a little bit. They got him off his mark, but it just didn't matter. The guy's
Set, okay,
too good.
7 quarterback hits. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's not
that's
bad.
really good.
But you want that to turn into 2 or 3 sacks. You know what I mean?
How many plays did they run? I mean, 60,
Um,
50.
so it's
You
seven
know,
quarterback hits on a total of, for them, they had 66 offensive plays.
okay. 110.
How many of those are runs and passes? That's the other big thing.
Exactly. But how many? What was Stafford? 22 of something, or what was his
Yeah, I'm
stats?
pulling it up real quick.
So
Sorry.
that'll tell you. Probably threw it 30 sometimes,
So he
but
threw it
still.
30. He threw it 33 times.
So yeah, you're
So
talking like
half the
one
plays.
fifth of the time, right? Yeah, I mean that's not too bad, but got to get
Not
him down
great.
on the ground. You got to get him on
I
the
agree.
ground.
I agree.
2 or 3 times, you got to get him down on the ground.
Yeah. All right, Dad. Give me a score prediction for the Eagles Rams game. I'm sorry
I
for the Eagles
Yeah,
Bucks game.
I'll give you the one for Eagles Rams. I'll bet you on the Eagles Rams game. I think it's going to be a lower scoring affair. I got about 21-17, I think. I don't
Yep.
think I'm hoping obviously we can come out of there with a win, which I do think we can, but it's going to be tough. I think that the weather is going to cause some problems with the temperatures. These guys hopefully are ready for it. I mean, if you're going to be down there for a day, hopefully they can do it. But yeah, 21-17.
Yeah. Okay, I took 26-21, so I'm a little bit of a higher scoring affair. I got us winning 26-21. This is difficult because I told you before, and I maybe said on the podcast when I did my season predictor, I said I think we're going to win 13 games. So what I did was, as going through, I made a 17-0, and then I went, okay, who are the losses coming to?
Right.
Now I chose, when I had to do that, I was like, well, I gave us a loss to the Rams. We ended up winning that game.
Nice.
I gave us a win against the Bucs, and now I'm thinking I still think we're going to win against the Bucs. And I
Okay.
know, like I said, it's been a house of horrors down there. It's terrifying. It's been not. It hasn't been pretty.
Right.
I think this time, it's going to turn around. The biggest difference between all those games that we've lost in the last 8 seasons, we've lost 5 times to them. The one game that we won, AJ Brown was playing, and AJ Brown is playing on Sunday.
There you
So
go.
we're going to win this game.
There you go. Now, don't ask JJ. He might say 42-32 or something.
Yeah,
He shot pretty high last week, and he was pretty close with the
he was.
33-26. I mean, I think he had
Yeah,
38 or something. I forget, but
he was
you know,
close. Yeah.
but yeah, send
Uh,
us some scores, man. I like having those scores.
Yeah, yeah. Let's say it now. Reminder to like and subscribe. If you're listening to your podcast or if you're watching on YouTube, comment down below and let us know what you think the score is going to be on Sunday when the Eagles take on the Bucs. Dad, let's shift into other NFL stuff. Other games around we'll choose 5 games. Like I try to always choose 5 games, but I'm probably gonna talk about more. Let's talk about the one we just saw. We'll do a quick one
Okay.
because the game's over. The Seahawks ended up winning against the Cardinals. I won some money. Ben won some money. So it was a good night for us. Um,
Right.
but I got to say, man, these two teams, the Seahawks are really not so bad. I thought they definitely struggled. The Cardinals did a good job at shutting down Jackson Smith and Jigba. But on the reverse side of it, the Cardinals, I think Kyler Murray is the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Well,
Maybe a bit far. He's
yeah,
bottom
but
5.
they're back to being the cardiac Cardinals again. Here they are in a game that they had no business coming back in. We're watching it. I'm looking at it going like this. What are the Seahawks doing? They kind of let them back in the game because they were running when they should have been throwing and throwing when they should have been running. I just didn't understand that. They were doing really well against them. Then they miss a field goal and it turns the game around. So, but yeah, it was tough. My
Yeah.
daughter was at the game tonight, and her
Yeah.
and Jake.
Yep. That's good.
So they
And
got to see at least it was good game in the second, third, fourth quarter, maybe.
but it's games like this. It's players like Kyler Murray that make me, talk when people make jokes about Hurts being a fullback or a running back. And I've had my fair share of digs at him with the
Yes,
passing game, but I don't
you
call him a
have.
running back or fullback. But it's games like that make you go like, okay, like I really shouldn't hate on my quarterback because Jesus, this dude's God so bad. I can't
I
stand
mean,
watching him play football.
those interceptions were right to people's guts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
And
the
the
one
one
was a tipped pass, but
that one was tough. But the other one, he threw one right to the guy and he dropped it. And you're like,
yeah,
he threw it to the player. He threw it to the
yeah.
Seahawk. It was
And then
terrible.
what the fourth and fourth play, the wide receiver didn't even see it, but it hit him in the hand, and he
Yeah.
pulled it in. Great catch. I mean, and
Yeah.
they ended up tying the game up. But yeah,
Yep. All right. So let's talk about Vikings Steelers. They're playing the 7:30, 7:30 for us. It's sometimes it's hard to get up that early on a Sunday because you're, maybe on a Saturday you're staying up a little late doing some partying, whatever you're doing. Sundays you want to sleep in on, and this will be tough. But I'm excited to have football from 7:30 to 10
Right.
o'clock at night. I mean, that's just the run is fantastic.
Well, for me, I'm up early to watch Premier League at 6:30 Sunday morning, so that's kind of nice. But
Yeah.
it's nice to have a football game. I could do the split screen or something, but yeah, it's kind of cool, and it's going to be a good game, I think. The way Wentz played, I don't know if he's playing again
Yep.
this week.
I believe so. It seems like JJ McCarthy's going to be out for some time.
Okay, and then you got Rodgers obviously with the Steelers, so you never know
Yep.
what's going to happen there. But
You know,
they looked good last week. He looked great last week. Wentz
you
played
know,
great.
we've got a 7:30 game the next 4 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
I'm looking. I'm double checking it now. Yeah, we've got a 7:30
Interesting.
game the next 4 weeks. It's
So this time
fantastic.
they're in Ireland this week.
Yeah, they're Ireland. Yeah, they're in Dublin. Next week is London, then
Wow.
London again, and then London again. Okay, so three Londons
Wow.
in a row.
Okay. That's
And
pretty
then we
cool.
have we have Berlin later in November. We've
Wow.
got Madrid in November.
Spain, man, oh man.
Yeah. And then we've got, is that the last one? There's no Mexico this year. I thought there was Mexico.
Huh.
Was there already one? I don't think so. No, I don't, maybe I'm wrong.
No, they haven't had one yet.
Okay.
Of course,
Uh,
Mexico would be the same time, so
True. Yeah.
yeah, it wouldn't
Uh,
change it up.
that's true. Sorry. Yeah.
That's all right.
Next, let's talk about the Commanders and Falcons. If you're the Commanders, Jaden Daniels still listed as questionable. Do you play Jaden Daniels?
I don't know. They put 40 something up last week.
I
They
agree.
look
I
good.
if
Mariota
I'm
looked good.
if I'm the Commanders, I do not play Jaden Daniels. Um, Mariota, they scored 41 points. I
Yes.
mean, why rush your team back? They're playing against the Falcons. I mean, I would say
Yeah.
to me, I'm like, I would not rush that guy back
When
against
the
a team this
Falcons
bad.
got blown out 30, they got shut out.
30 to 0.
I don't understand that.
I
I
didn't
didn't see any of that game.
yeah, I didn't watch the highlights at all. We
Yeah.
didn't have the game on
Yeah.
TV. I'm gonna have to check that because that was insane.
Yeah. What happened?
No clue.
Yeah.
Chargers, Giants, another one in the division. Not much to talk about here. This team's going to get destroyed by the Chargers. But it's the
The new
first game of
quarterback.
Yeah,
That's
it's the
right.
first game of Jackson Dart's
Jackson
career.
Dart.
So we'll see what happens there. I mean, this is a good
Kind of
scouting
a cool
report for
name
him.
for a quarterback, right? Jackson Dart.
Uh,
You can make all
it,
kinds of jokes and
if
you
you were to
know,
make a list of like best quarterback names,
yeah,
that's got to be top 10.
it's up there.
I
Yeah, it's
mean,
up there.
and there's a lot of them that you could throw up. We could have a list. Maybe we'll have to make
Right.
a list
Yeah.
because I thought like Manning, that was it just worked. Peyton
Right.
Manning, Eli Manning, it was just a great names.
Yeah.
You got to have a good name to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger,
Yeah. Good name.
the Slavic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Joe Montana's kind of that one's just
Well,
not
Randall
not
Cunningham, it's got a nice ring
great
to it,
name.
right?
Yeah,
Kind of sing-songy, right?
correct. Yeah, Carson Wentz is a great quarterback name.
I
It
agree.
just
I agree.
works. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but there are some things out there that
Yeah.
it's just like that's a good. I think Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback name.
I agree.
Hurts so good. You could do all the
Right.
slogans. You
Right.
could do it hurts. Stuff like that.
So, do you think this is the last we've seen of Russell
I
Wilson?
I think I don't know. Fortunately, unfortunately, yes. He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, this has been a conversation all week. This guy, right? What do you think? Is he a Hall of Famer?
Well, I never really. I mean, you get the Super Bowl, that's one thing, and then you go to another one. Maybe if you win the second one, and not his fault, right? I mean, he didn't make the play call, but
Well,
I
he
don't know.
threw it.
I think as it's all about length and how long you were top dog.
Well, and the problem with him and the conversation that I've always had, he was he ever a top 3 quarterback in the league? Was he ever a top 5? And the thing about him, 9 Pro Bowls. So you could argue he
Yeah.
was, but he does have a second team All Pro in there, I think, as well. So
Yeah.
that technically means he was the second best quarterback in the league that year.
Yeah.
But he played at the
Yeah.
same time as Peyton. He played at the same
Yeah.
time as Tom, Rogers, Big
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah.
The problem with that, Philip Rivers. I don't think
Right.
Philip Rivers is going to get in. And I mean,
the other thing about him is that he had that great defense, and he also was kind of where Hurts is now. Where is he carrying the team? Does he have that piece you need? Because Russell Wilson did play with the Legion of Boom for 8 years or 6 years when they were top dogs, and so I mean, I don't know. They didn't really speak as they do about Hurts, kind of in a condescending way.
Yeah.
Which they never did that with Russell Wilson, but I think it's kind of risen to the top now.
Yeah. Let's jump across this one. Conversation for another time. We got to talk about these next two games that are huge. Ravens Chiefs. So Ravens going to be visiting Kansas City to take on the Chiefs in the I believe it would be the game of the week for Fox. The
The late
2:30
game.
game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the 2:30 game. Um, Huge game. Loser goes to 1-3.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Chiefs be 1-3 to start the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see him be 0-3, but Russell Wilson, non-Hall of Fame quarterback,
Yeah.
Russell
Yeah. Yeah.
Wilson,
Yeah.
ruined that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, what do you think there? You got the Ravens
Well,
winning?
to me, week 4, probably the most must-watch game other than my Eagles games for me this weekend.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not going to miss that game. Of course, there's another one on the schedule as well, but
yes.
yeah. So to me, yeah, make sure you get something in the crock pot. Make sure you got something in the oven when you get home from the Eagles game, because
Yeah.
I mean it's going to be a 6 hour, 7 hours start to finish there after the game.
4 2 o'clock games, so that's good. You got the 2 and the 2. You can throw it on the TV pretty well.
Got you.
And then the night game, another big one. It's tough. We talk about like, oh man, it's too bad the NFL can't know things ahead of time because
Right.
last week or 2 weeks ago, Eagles Chiefs. Why was that not the Sunday night game? Like that's they're the Super Bowl rematch,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like this: the Packers Cowboys are the Sunday night game. I
Yeah.
think the Cowboys do not have a chance. The spread is at 6.5. I think they could have placed that at 10. I
I
mean,
and I
9.5. Sorry.
Well, I think if they did, they would have got action big time on both sides.
Correct.
But yeah, that's another one to me. It's going to be a must watch only because I want to see what happens.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully it's a train wreck. That's what I'm hoping for. But we'll see. I mean, obviously two teams that we don't really love, but we hate one a little bit more than the other. And now
True.
with the
Oh, 100.
Micah
Little
jumping
bit.
ship, yeah, with Micah jumping ship,
Yeah.
it's going to be something to watch. And of course, I'm not going to say who I want to win that game, but it's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely. Uh, that's all I've got for football. You want to jump in some other sports real quick, or you got
Yeah,
anything else on
sure, sure.
football? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Real quick run through it. Congrats to the Phillies. Right now they're sitting at 94-65. They won a game tonight against the Marlins. Clinched the 2 seed, so they get that bye. They technically have a chance for the 1 seed. Now, I'm not going to expect it, but they
Right.
got there's 3 games left. They're down. Their record, sorry, I had it pulled up here. Like I said, it was 94 and
66,
65. 94 and
65.
65 for them. Brewers are 96 and 63. The Brewers lose 3, the Phillies win 3. They've got it, but the Brewers do have the tiebreaker, so
Right.
you
Can't
have to
tie. Yeah.
they can't tie. So Brewers have to win 1, and they have the 1 seed. So
Right. Right. Yeah, it would be fun. Hopefully they get it, but you
yeah,
know,
well they got the 2 seed, so that's I mean
yeah,
the bye is huge. That's so
yeah, it
massive.
is. They're going to need a little rest, but they're kind of hot right now, and that's how it works.
Baseball's weird. I
You
know.
kind of don't want to take a break if you're super hot.
I know it's true. Union, I want to throw that out there. 18-7-6, still holding the 1 seed. Only 3 regular season games left. They got a win last week against I forget who it was. I apologize. Was
Yeah.
it the Revolution, New England, New
Yeah.
England Revolution? So they're playing the DC United on Saturday, and then they've got 2 more games after that, and hopefully they can hang on to that 1 seed because
Oh
that'd be a
yeah.
big deal. Big
Yeah.
deal
Get
to
those games
avoid.
in Chester. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to keep Cincinnati, out of that 1 seed.
Yeah.
I don't
They're a
want any
good
games in
team.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep
I
the games in
agree.
Chester. I like that you said that. It's a good
Yeah.
way.
Definitely.
All right, man. You got anything else to say?
No, I'm good.
All righty. Let's. Oh, I'm sorry. Penn State. I left them out. Penn State.
Well, they were off last week, so
Yeah, they were off, so there's nothing to say there. Got
who do I got
Oregon.
this week?
Oregon,
Okay.
huge one.
Okay.
Huge one. I think they're the number. I think they're number 5, right?
Okay.
No, number 6. Penn
I don't
State's
know.
3,
Yeah, I knew
Oregon
they're up there.
6. Yep.
Nice.
Okay. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok if you like Philly Eagles Therapy. Do us a favor, rate and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and comment your score prediction down below. Other than that, you can email us your questions at PhillyEaglesTherapy@gmail.com. But from all of us here at Philly Eagles Therapy, I'm Basil.
And I'm Baz.
Go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.